Welcome, everybody, to another exciting, thrilling edition of Pinfalls. I am, of course, who else but Tommy Els, joined with me, as always, by the man on the beat from johngysbeat.com and the Everyday Sports, Mr. John Wroblewski.
How are
John,
you,
here we
Tommy?
are. I'm good, man. We're going to Scotland for Clash at the Castle. Well, we're not going to get to go, but I can't see what you're showing me on your phone. It's not coming through.
That was a little bagpipe music for those who missed it.
Oh, well, didn't hear
Scotland
it.
bagpipes.
Yeah, well,
I'm wearing the
joking.
icon shirt representing Roddy Piper, who, well, theoretically came from Scotland by way of Canada.
He wore a kilt and he
He
played the
did.
bagpipes. So we'll give
Close
him
enough
that.
for me, man.
We'll give him that much, I guess.
Clash of the Champion or Clash of the Castle.
Clash at the Castle, yeah. So we should review our scoring as to where we stand right now.
Yes, for the year, I am one up on you.
Mm,
Lifetime, you are two up on me. Overall lifetime, we have approximately together, because we're very close, obviously. We have approximately a 61.5% success rate.
it's pretty good. I mean, again, it's tough to say, are we good at guessing it or is it that predictable? You know, but
Well,
it's over half. I took great pride in my victory with Liv Morgan beating Becky Lynch at the last one. I know
that
you
sucked.
just well, see, you let your loyalty get in the way
No,
of logic,
I legitimately thought Becky was going to win. I thought it would go one more pay-per-view, or excuse me, premium live event.
Yes, PLE,
Yeah,
PLE, get it in your head.
yeah.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's get into it.
You want to call
Here,
the matches and then go into your picks? Let's
sure.
change this up
Let's.
today.
I'll go in order of least interesting to most interesting. How about that?
That's good.
So I'm going to start with the WWE Women's Champion Bayley versus Piper Niven. This is not worth a match on a premium live event. This is not a match worth any time on Monday Night Raw.
Wow.
I guess if you wanted to put this on that speed show that they've got on X now, do a quick 3 minute, match where Bailey just beats Piper Niven and we move on with our lives.
Wow.
I mean, this Piper Niven needs to go, or they need to figure out something else with her. I have no love for her. I don't see the potential in her. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't see potential in her. I think that whatever potential there was in her, they've missed out on already. That they've kind of blown her start, and it's going to be real hard for her to turn that around into something where people actually are into her. I have no interest in her as a wrestler or in her
Wow.
in her
Man.
her
Don't hold
persona
back, pal. Throw it out there.
or anything like that. And I'm not the biggest Bailey fan in the world either, but I mean, this is like
You got
I
something in
mean,
plugs?
I just don't see this going any other way. So yeah, I'm definitely going with Bailey on this one, and I hope it's a short match.
Well, I agree and disagree. They really have screwed up Piper Niven with that whole weird thing where she was, with what's her name, Eva, whatever. Horrible, horrible stuff. But I think the new direction she's going in, I think is good. If she could be a monster heel, and this match could kind of start that up. If she could beat the hell out of Bailey, Bailey will win this match. I have no doubt about that. But a good showing by Piper Niven, bring out the monster, bring out the heel.
Well, I agree. If they do it right, they could very well. This could be the first step of pushing her in that direction. But this is what that's going to have to be. They're going to have to showcase her at this one. They got to not put her on the microphone. Someone needs to get her a manager. She shouldn't have
Yes,
it. She shouldn't be in a tag team. She should be a solo presence.
yes.
She should not speak. She should go out there and she should be big and devastating and smashing people and then go to the back and not say a word. and just keep coming out and keep kicking people's asses, you know,
I'd
and
like to
that should be
see.
it. And that's it. If she did just that, she'd be a much bigger personality, and everyone I think would be. I mean, I would enjoy her more at least.
This
So
is the start of that. Have some faith in
okay,
Paul Levesque.
all right. Well,
I'd like to see Paul Heyman manager. I think that'd be fun. Or bring back AJ Lee as crazy manager. That'd be fun, and we'd get to see AJ Lee, which is always good.
the thing is you can say that you could say with Paul Heyman just about anybody. You could say put Paul Heyman with him, and that'll make him better. Well,
Well, he
yeah,
didn't go real well with Axel, whatever that guy, Axel Hennick's son.
I don't know who you were talking about.
Remember when Kurt Hennig's son wrestled as Axel something?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
he
also
was
McGillicuddy and blah,
right,
blah,
and
blah. He didn't do much for him.
he was in the Nexus and stuff. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but all
Anyway,
right, moving
we
on.
both agree Bailey.
Both agree Bailey. All right, moving on here. We have the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, versus Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, both natives of Scotland, versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. Now, I want to make it clear that I'm not listing the first two most uninteresting matches because they're the women's matches. This is not a sexist thing. It
I
just
understand.
happens to be the case. The reason I am not as excited or have much interest in this is just because this is another one that seems like a relatively far gone conclusion as far as who would win this. Um, so Alba Fire and I just don't see the only people I could see maybe being tag team champions outside of Belair and Cargill would be Stark and Baszler. I think they would be a really good tag team. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are fine. I think it's a little early for them, and not enough people really know them unless you're familiar with NXT. The only thing, and I really try to get away from rumors and things like that, but I have heard rumors that perhaps Bianca Belair might be pregnant or something like
Oh,
that. That's the only thing that could change this, but that is only a rumor that I cannot confirm or deny. So I am going to just exclude that. And based on just what I'm looking at and the trajectory of Belair and Cargill, they're not going to lose these titles. So I'm going with them.
I am also going with them. I toyed with the idea of going with the native Scottish team. They're yeah, like you said, they're not cemented enough. There's other than the hometown pop, there's really nothing to
Yeah.
gain by putting the straps on them, unless Bianca is pregnant, or if they're going to start a Bianca heel turn, which is another always rumored thing to split up that team. Because ultimately, I think they put that team together to split them up at some point, which I
I
just hate.
I agree 100%. That's inevitable. It's going to happen. But they need to let this relationship develop more.
Yes.
You can't just throw them together for 3 months and then be like, oh wow, now I can't believe they're not friends anymore. It's like no, you got to let them establish a deep friendship and trust in one another, and then you tear them apart, and then there's more drama to it. It's too soon. So, but I agree. No, they ultimately everyone wants to see Belair versus Cargill for
Yeah.
sure. I mean,
So we know
but
that's the end game, but for
yeah,
right
we
now they
ain't
maintain the straps.
we ain't there yet. So next up is our Intercontinental Championship being defended by Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable of the Alpha Academy, of which there's been quite a bit of drama in the Alpha Academy as of late. Chad Gable disrespecting the other members of the Alpha Academy, Otis in particular. They do not seem to share his new heel turn ideas. They do not want to hurt the other faces at his request. And this is all going to, I think, come to a head at this pay per view, at which I believe this will be a good match. But I do think there's going to be a lot of ringside drama at the end of this with the Alpha Academy, and I think they're finally going to have had enough with him at this, and he'll break away from them, or they'll break away from him, however you want to look at it. And Sami Zayn will, in fact, retain the Intercontinental Championship.
Well, I'm going with Chad Gable. I agree with
Okay.
you pretty much on everything, but I think ultimately, whether it's a big swerve or whether they somehow, in trying to screw Chad Gable, actually help Chad Gable. I'm not I've never been sold on Sami Zayn as this great champ. I'd like to see the new blood in there, no pun intended, for old WCW fans. So I'm going with Chad Gable, either because or with assistance from the other two.
I understand. I'm also not sold on Sami Zayn as a champion with any of the titles. I mean, I guess the tag title, but that's because someone's carrying him basically.
I
So,
mean, decent wrestler. I got nothing
uh,
against him. It's just
yeah, no,
vanilla.
yeah, I understand. It's just there's just the ceiling is just only so high for how excited you can get to see Sami Zayn. I feel the same way about Natty Neidhart. It's like
Perfect, perfect.
it's like I on one hand I feel bad that she's been around forever. She works her ass off. I mean, she's a good wrestler. I know that she's trained most of the girls on the roster, but if you give her the title, it falls flat. There's just no excitement about
Right.
it. There's just nothing. The person makes the title, in my opinion,
I
and
yeah.
you can, just because you have the title, it doesn't make you more entertaining. It just puts more pressure on you to be more entertaining and to be a draw. And I agree, Sami Zayn with the belt just doesn't do anything for me. I'm fine with, like, give him something once in a while.
Yeah.
He busts his ass. Yeah. There's you deserve it for a little while and everything. So I'm not against Chad Gable having the title, or even him winning it at this event, for that matter. And I could see how your thinking could go that way too. Um, I do think that I don't know. We'll just wait and see.
Maybe Kurt Angle comes in as a heel manager for him.
You know, it would be the problem is it's a little too on the nose. It's like you need like, our generation knows Kurt Angle, and we know that Chad Gable is essentially another Kurt Angle. But there's a generation of people out there, the younger generation, that don't really know that, and so this is their first Kurt Angle. And so I think for them, it's better for them to see Chad Gable on his own and build up
A
on his
valid
own
point. A
in
valid
that
point. Yeah.
way. He doesn't need to ride off of Kurt Angle, although a very appropriate heel coach to have for him, heel manager to have with him,
You make a
but yeah,
valid point. I have to agree with you.
but you got to let the new generation have their guy. And there's some that just they'll never know. I mean, this is what's unique to our generation, is that they'll never quite know the excitement and fun it was to see Kurt Angle come on the scene and
You
see him.
suck.
Yeah, and to see him go through all of his, I mean, like, in his first year, win almost every title in the company, or maybe he did. I mean, like, for him to become who he was as quick as he was and have the matches he did, was just incredible.
And he
So,
tweaked his character well over the years. He played comedy, he played heel, he played face.
yeah, and
Yeah, he transformed his character. It never got stale.
yeah, never took himself. He seemed like someone who would take himself really seriously, but then, feet to the fire. There he is in a cowboy hat with a ukulele,
Singing with Steve Austin.
Right. Okay, let's move on. We will go to the I'm putting this as next in line, the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles in an I Quit match. I would be I will hang up my Pinfalls hat if
We
Cody
have hats?
Rhodes if Cody Rhodes says I quit and loses this match. I would be shocked if that's the way that this whole thing for Cody Rhodes ends. So on that alone, I'm going with Cody Rhodes. I think making it an I Quit match was a bad idea because it took any unpredictability out of this match. So now I don't know what they're going to do with Styles after he loses an I Quit match. I don't know if they just put him on a different show then, like he comes back and now he's on Raw or whatever. You know, I mean, I don't know if he needs time off or whatever. He looks like he's in like the best shape of
Oh,
his life. I
yeah.
mean, it doesn't seem like a good time for him to take off. He looks like he's ready and raring to go. And if I'm right, I think he's come off of some time off recently anyway. His character has been floundering though,
Yeah.
so it needs a boost of some sort. I don't know that putting the title again. I don't think putting the title on him is necessarily going to be what he needs right now. You
No,
know,
I
so
agree.
yeah. So I'm Cody Rhodes on that one.
Well, this one caused me trouble, and again, it's the I quit part. And I was trying to think of a way around it where AJ Styles could still win, but Cody not lose the title. And the I quit kind of takes it out of that. There's no way because there's could you have a DQ finish in an I quit match?
No,
Right. So I mean, there's no way around it.
the only way the match ends is by somebody saying I quit. So you
So,
can,
as you were implying, they painted themselves into a corner. There's no way around this. Either AJ's going to win or Cody's going to win and go with and have the title. I don't see AJ getting the title. There's no point to it. It won't elevate him any. It's certainly not going to elevate the title. It's not the best way to end Cody's story or
well,
chapter in a story at this point.
and the thing is he loses way more face by saying I quit.
Right.
You know, this isn't just a
That's the other thing.
loss. It's
Yeah.
not just it's not he's not just losing and losing the title, because there's plenty of ways you can spin that and maybe make it work somehow,
Well,
but
they
even
did
that
the old
even
recorded voice.
yeah, even that is still a big stretch, and why would they end it with him versus AJ Styles right now? But
Exactly.
but throw on top of that the I quit aspect of it. Cody hasn't quit anything.
Right.
His whole gimmick is that he has pushed
Yeah.
forward and and done this for the last several years, pushing to get to this title, getting to where he is and everything. He's not going to say I quit in the first I quit match he gets tossed into.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
That would destroy
So,
the whole story.
yeah.
So, all right, we agree then.
All right, so last one that we have here, as announced thus far, as of this recording, the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, will face off against, again, Scotland's own Drew McIntyre.
I
Uh, he will be facing Drew McIntyre, and the Judgment Day will be banned from ringside, per their stipulation this last Monday on Raw. So by all rights, this should be a one-on-one match. Now, this kind of depends, in my opinion, on who you consider to be part of the Judgment Day. Because currently, on the Judgment Day, you've got, uh, what's his name? McDonough. You've got Mysterio. You've got Balor. They would be who I would consider Judgment Day, with, of course, Rhea Ripley, who's absent currently with an injury. However, vying to get into the group and in their good graces has been Carlito. Carlito's not technically part of the Judgment Day, and he does want to help out, and he wants to get into the Judgment Day. It's possible that they could call on Carlito during this. Now, I do believe that Damian Priest is sort of pushing towards, I don't want to necessarily say face, but he's starting to try to get to be more independent and get away from the Judgment Day and be a self-sufficient champion, even if he's a heel. So, uh, there's all that to take into account. Now you have the CM Punk factor, who's been out to dick with the Drew McIntyre since WrestleMania. Nobody's seen Punk for a little while now, and it would be I think people are hoping to see CM Punk there. I think that Scotland is going to lose their mind if CM Punk shows up. So I have to figure that guy's going to be a part of this thing somehow. However, this all shakes down. So it could be where like Carlito comes out, ends up trying to help, but then CM Punk ends up being the one to kind of counter that, or whatever the case is. And I think when it's all said and done and the dust settles, it's going to be Damian Priest will retain. And this is just going to add more fuel to the fire between McIntyre and Punk as we are heading into SummerSlam very soon. So there you go.
I love your rationale, and I agree with it all down the line. It could be like Carlito actually might cost Damian, but then you've got the counter effect of Punk costing McIntyre.
Right. Right.
Or it could be that Carlito helps Damian, and then Punk comes in for whatever reason, because maybe he wants Drew to have the title so he can take the title from him. Who knows? So those two factors are interesting. And I really, the main reason I want Priest to win this though is I hate the thing of like, well, McIntyre's got to win because it's Scotland. Bret Hart can't lose because it's Canada. Like that kind of stuff drives me crazy. Because then like it would be so easy to predict all the time. And well, hey, you're not going to lose in your home state.
See, the
So
thing is that ultimately with McIntyre, the feud that matters the most, more than the championship does, is the one between him and CM Punk.
yes,
That matters more than him having the title. You can have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam with no title on the line,
absolutely.
and that'll be one of the biggest matches of the night. So the
Yes,
title doesn't
totally.
if the title doesn't need to be with one of them, then it's not going to go with one of them. You know
Right.
what I mean? They don't need to be fighting. You don't this whatever match they have when they finally get this thing going is going to be the first of this whole thing. They're not starting off with a title match,
Right.
so there's no reason for McIntyre to have it. Punk's not going to be trying to help him get the title by any means. If he's out there, he's out there to cost him the title.
And
So
I think Priest needs a little lengthier run with the belt. I don't think it
yeah,
needs.
and I think he's doing. I think he's
Yeah,
doing an
you're
okay
fine.
job. I don't think there's been a whole lot for him to work with thus far. I mean, I don't think they've put any real good storylines in front of him. But I think, I'm interested to see where they go once they get him past Drew McIntyre and see
Yeah,
like who his next opponent is and stuff. Although, I guess um, Gunther will be he'll be the SummerSlam opponent. So.
that'd be interesting.
Um, but uh, but yeah, so I'm definitely I don't see McIntyre walking out of this, because this just gives him more to complain about because
Yes,
this is like the second or third time he'll have been in Scotland and lost his match for the title. And if Punk is a main reason why that happens, it just again throws fuel on the fire between them and their rivalry, making it all the more interesting and compelling when they finally do meet up, which again, my guess is going to be SummerSlam. So
so we agree on that. We agree on 4 of the 5.
yeah, so the IC title is the only one that we've got up for grabs on this one here. So and again, I don't think that it's not improbable what
That one
you're
scares me the most,
proposing.
though, out of all the matches. So who knows? This is going to
That
be interesting.
it's really down the line. I mean, it really could go either way. I mean, I don't feel like it's like I don't I'm going with what I'm going with, but I can't say that I feel like that's a guarantee by any means either. So,
Agreed.
all right.
Take
Well,
us home, Tommy.
there it is, everybody. Clash at the Castle is this Saturday. I don't know what this Saturday's date is. The
June
20th,
15th,
something like that. It's coming live from Scotland. I believe it's
11 Central.
11 Central. Okay. So I won't be off of work yet, but I'll catch the replay. John, where will you be?
I'll be in
Since
Wisconsin at Brew City Wrestling.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, have fun at Brew City Wrestling. And until next time, everybody, thank you again for joining us on Pinfalls. I, of course, have been who else but Tommy Else, joined as always by the man on the beat and for everyday sports, Mr. John Wroblewski.
Enjoy.